national interest will not going to be achieved. That means we're going to come to turbulence. For the individuals, right now, for Egypt, it's the best because it's going to be very much organized and according to the level of the standard of the applicant for to be elected.
Right, this is your point of view here.
Yes.
And it should be heard. Ahram Online and Committee Amending Egyptian Constitution resumes work. Rather, the committee today started voting on the final draft, or this is exactly what we've heard. The committee responsible for amending the Egyptian Constitution has resumed its work after a brief halt by members angry at the recent detention of protesters. Yes, we've learned that there were about 10 or more from the Constitution Committee who froze the membership, and then they returned back and continued on with their mission today. They have already started to vote on the final draft, except for very few articles that remain in
between
discussion.
brackets to understand, to clarify.
Yes,
the
so
Constitution, as I said before, is going to be should be a very good constitution to allow the Egyptians to rule themselves for the first time in the whole history. But we have some good, the first part, which is for the human rights, which is ended on the 25th of October, 25th of October, have been issued for the human rights. It's very good, went smoothly. But after that, since 25th of October, right now, we have some turbulence in the 50s committees to have interfered some forces inside it to make it, to have some turbulence. But I'm sure about it, that this constitution will going to come in a very moderate way for the parliamentary constitution.
right. One important article that has really stirred controversy was whether the country should be ruled in a civilian way, or rather the country itself would be civilian. And that was a matter of debate. So, how do you, or what's your comment on such discussion?
It's a civilian country. We're going to be a civilian country, but don't eliminate the armed forces with their organization and institution in the armed forces. The armed forces is an effective element in the Egyptian policy. So we're not going to eliminate it. It's a part of the Egyptian institution, because they have very good qualified institution right now in this period of the country, knowing that 77% of the people here are analphabet. So the army is using their force with the council to put the measures of the morals which we are going to use in the civilian countries. Patriotic country, number one, which is the armed forces, is taking the part of it and taking the major job for it to keep the safety of the unity of the land and the people inside.
But that's, what I've been speaking about is, would the country be civilian one?
Civilian.
Or ruled in a civilian way? Ruled by a civilian system, authority?
It's ruled by the civilian system, which is, yes.
And the country is a country of institutions, including
yes,
the Supreme Council of the Armed Forces or the Armed Forces.
Supreme Council.
Which is, of course, a patriotic institution that is truly doing a great job at this time.
it depends
And of course, will continue.
yes, and it depends about the constitution which is going to be issued and the rule of the armed forces inside it.
Indeed.
So this we're going to clarify all these two questions.
Indeed. The BBC here, and it brought out a hot topic today, which is the Egyptian court jails girls over Brotherhood demonstration. And a court in Egypt has sentenced 21 female supporters of the Brotherhood to 11 years in prison. They were found guilty of multiple charges: obstructing traffic, sabotaging, and using force at a protest in the city of Alexandria last month. 7 are under 18 years of age and will be sent to a juvenile prison. Human rights groups criticize these sentences. The court also sentenced 6 Brotherhood leaders to 15 years in prison for inciting the protests. So just to clarify the situation, not all the 21 female girls took 11 years, but rather some of them took months, some of them took years, and some of them took 11 years according to the charges that they were trialed for. Yes, this issue brought up criticism from within here in Egypt and also from outside. Your comment on?
From outside, I think it's a minimum. It's a minimum. The criticism comes from here, from inside Egypt, because they are girls. We don't understand that 21 girls between 24 and 18 going in the streets, demonstrating for over a month in several parts in Alexandria. When they caught them, they found among of their clothes they have a white weapon. What girls is having a white weapon? What kind of a girl having a white weapon? If this is unorganized, this is a gang. This is 100% a gang. And this is a decisive. This is the decisive court, and the decisive court took it on the right time. Egypt needs such sentences going together not to allow some girls, what you are talking about, girls having knives in their pockets and demonstrating.
Who searched them? Who searched those girls?
When they captured
were
them.
Were these knives and things found on the spot?
On the spot, on the
Who
spot.
searched them?
On the spot. When they captured the police, they were watching them. They were watching them for the past 2 months in Alexandria, making demonstration here and disappear, making demonstration here and making some kind of blah, 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 and making the traffic and disturbing the security and the safety of the inhabitants in this area, and disappear. This is an organized manifestation you would like to see?
No, it's not.
It's not.
It's not, definitely it's not.
And it's right now, the court must be decisive if we were going to have Egypt again.